So we still have the same thing, and we still hold to the fact there is a longitudinal wave in the vacuum, not just a single transverse wave. Now let us see what happens when we launch a wave, now that we know that from an antenna. When I launch a wave from a physical antenna, the matter in the antenna is made of these same atoms and these same dipoles. And in addition to launching the wave from the electron shells and the electron interactions, there is a highly damped anti-wave launched at much less disturbance, highly reduced, of the anti-wave. But as soon as it emerges from the antenna, there is no longer any damping because there's no longer any heavy nuclear mass. And so immediately it pops to full shape and full size, and so we still have the longitudinal wave in the vacuum that we launch. Can I prove that in what we receive? Yes, indeed, I can. And you must understand this if you ever understand Nikola Tesla. Now let me go to the reception of this wave in a circuit, and I have some free electrons in my circuit, and in comes the wave from the vacuum. The electrons in the circuit are pushing against their brothers down the road, which pushes back, and it's restrained. It's very difficult for it to move longitudinally. We know that today. We know that it only moves down the wire at something like 11 feet per hour. The signal that moves down the wire at near light speed will have completely exited the solar system and gone on by that time. So as you can see, we have a very sluggish electron restrained, which is spinning, we know today. When they wrote those equations, they didn't even have the notion of the electron. So it acts as a gyro. And by gyro theory, right out of the book, when you longitudinally disturb a gyro that's restrained, it will precess sideways. And all of our instruments measure and detect the electron precession waves. That's what we put on our oscilloscopes and what we read with our instruments. And yes, indeed, gentlemen, we do detect the electron wiggle waves, and they are transverse waves. But a gyro reacts and precesses at right angle to the actual disturbance, which proves that it is a longitudinal wave in the vacuum. If you do not believe that, you must throw away all gyro theory. Tesla was right. Every textbook in the U.S. is wrong. Maxwell simply assumed out of thin air the transverse string wave because that's what everybody was familiar with when he wrote the first equations, and it's never been changed to this day.
So was Tesla aware of this, and is this what Tesla was talking about when he talked about teleforce?
It was deeply involved in it. Tesla made several statements, for example, over and over, where he said, there are no transverse waves in the vacuum, no Hertz waves. The waves in the vacuum, I have already proved, he said, is like a gas. And the waves in it, therefore, are like sound waves. They are longitudinal waves. And he was indeed correct. Today, for example, in modern quantum mechanics, there is a vacuum, it is a medium, and it's a virtual particle flux. And so, indeed, the vacuum is a virtual gas by today's best physics.